Generosity begins with the understanding that wealth is not solely for personal gain, it's also a tool to help others and make the world a better place. When you give, whether through charitable donations, acts of kindness, or helping family and friends in need, you acknowledge that your financial success is part of something larger than yourself. This mindset fosters gratitude and humility, helping you see your money not just as something to be hoarded, but as something that can create positive change. Generosity doesn't have to involve large sums of money. It's about the heart behind the giving. Even small acts of generosity, buying a meal for someone in need, contributing to a local cause, or offering your time and resources can have a significant impact. These acts not only benefit the recipient, but also bring a sense of joy and satisfaction to the giver. Research has shown that giving activates the same pleasure centers in the brain as receiving, proving that generosity is as rewarding as it is impactful. At the same time, responsibility ensures that your generosity is sustainable and doesn't compromise your financial well-being. Being responsible means creating boundaries for your giving. It's about understanding that you can't pour from an empty cup. If your own financial foundation isn't secure, you won't be able to help others in the long run. This is why giving should always be planned and prioritized within the framework of your budget. By allocating a specific portion of your income to generosity, you ensure that your giving is intentional, consistent, and within your means. Responsibility also extends to fulfilling your financial obligations. Before you can give freely, you must first take care of your own household. This means paying your bills on time, eliminating debt, building an emergency fund, and saving for the future. These actions are not selfish, they're necessary. They lay the groundwork for stability, allowing you to give from a position of strength rather than one of financial strain. When you combine generosity with responsibility, you create a ripple effect that extends far beyond your immediate circle. Your responsible management of money sets an example for others, showing that it's possible to be both disciplined and giving. It inspires those around you, family, friends, and even colleagues to adopt similar habits, creating a culture of financial stewardship and compassion. Generosity also deepens relationships. When you give to others, whether through financial support or acts of kindness, you strengthen bonds and build trust. It shows that you care not just about your own success, but also about the well-being of those around you. This sense of community and connection is one of the most valuable returns on your generosity. At its core, generosity is about living with an abundance mindset. It's the belief that there is always enough to go around and that giving does not diminish your resources but multiplies them in unexpected ways. This abundance mindset helps you let go of fear and scarcity, empowering you to share freely without worrying about what you might lose. It also shifts your focus from what you lack to what you have, fostering gratitude and contentment. On the other hand, responsibility ensures that you stay rooted in reality. It helps you set boundaries and make thoughtful decisions about your giving. This balance prevents you from overextending yourself, ensuring that your generosity remains a positive force rather than a source of stress or regret. For example, it's generous to help a family member in need, but it's also responsible to evaluate how that assistance aligns with your own financial goals and limitations. Generosity paired with responsibility also allows you to leave a lasting legacy. By managing your money wisely, you can create opportunities to give not just in the present, but for years to come. This might mean setting up a charitable foundation, creating a scholarship fund, or simply leaving behind resources that will continue to benefit others after you're gone. A legacy of generosity ensures that the impact of your giving outlives you, touching lives you may never meet. Finally, generosity and responsibility are not just about money, they're about mindset and character. Being generous with your time, attention, and talents is just as important as financial giving. Likewise, being responsible isn't limited to managing your finances, it's about being dependable, keeping promises, and honoring commitments. Together, these principles shape not only your financial life, but also the way you show up in the world. When you practice generosity with responsibility, you align your financial resources with your values, creating a life that is both meaningful and sustainable. You move from simply accumulating wealth to using it as a tool for good, balancing your ability to give with the wisdom to manage what you have. This balance brings a sense of peace, purpose, and fulfillment that transcends the numbers in your bank account, leaving a lasting impact on both your life and the lives of others. Consistency wins because it is the foundation of all meaningful progress, especially in managing money and building wealth. Success in your financial journey is rarely the result of one big dramatic action. Instead, it's the cumulative impact of small, steady steps taken repeatedly over time. The power of consistency lies in its ability to transform good habits into lasting results, proving that persistence is far more effective than perfection. When you commit to consistency, you create a roadmap for your financial goals. Whether it's saving, investing, paying off debt, or sticking to a budget, consistent effort ensures you stay on course, even when progress feels slow. It's like planting seeds in a garden. You might not see results right away, but with regular care and attention, growth becomes inevitable. The key is to trust the process, even during seasons when it feels like nothing is happening. Consistency is especially important when it comes to budgeting. A budget isn't a one-time exercise or something you can do sporadically. It's a tool that requires ongoing attention and adjustment. By consistently tracking your income and expenses, you develop a clear picture of your financial situation, making it easier to identify areas where you can cut back, save more, or invest wisely. This habit builds financial discipline, helping you avoid wasteful spending and keep your goals in focus. In the realm of saving and investing, consistency is the driving force behind compounding. Regular contributions to a savings or retirement account, no matter how small, grow exponentially over time. The beauty of this approach is that it doesn't rely on timing the market or making perfect decisions. It relies on showing up month after month, year after year. This disciplined approach allows your money to work for you, leveraging time to create wealth. Paying off debt is another area where consistency proves its worth. Tackling debt can feel overwhelming, especially when balances are high or interest rates are steep. But by consistently making payments, whether through the debt snowball or debt avalanche method, you chip away at the principal, gaining momentum as you go. Each payment brings you closer to financial freedom, and the habit of consistency builds the confidence and determination to see it through to the end. Consistency also builds resilience. Life will inevitably throw challenges your way, unexpected expenses, emergencies, or even setbacks in your income. When you've established consistent financial habits, you're better equipped to handle these situations without derailing your progress. For example, if you've been consistently saving, you'll have an emergency fund to fall back on when the unexpected happens. This stability helps you weather storms and stay on track. One of the greatest benefits of consistency is how it reinforces positive behavior. Every time you follow through on your financial commitments, whether it's sticking to your budget, saving a portion of your paycheck, or saying no to unnecessary spending, you strengthen your discipline and build momentum. Over time, these small victories add up, creating a sense of accomplishment and motivating you to keep going. Consistency is also the antidote to the all-or-nothing mindset. Too often, people abandon their financial goals because they feel like they've failed after one misstep. Maybe you overspent 1 month or skipped a savings deposit. While these moments can feel discouraging, the key is to get back on track immediately. Consistency doesn't mean perfection, it means persistence. By focusing on the long-term picture and refusing to let setbacks define you, you build a financial journey marked by progress, not perfection. Another reason consistency wins is that it simplifies decision-making. When you establish consistent habits, you eliminate the need to rethink your choices every time you're faced with a financial decision. For example, if you've automated your savings or debt payments, you no longer have to wrestle with the temptation to spend that money elsewhere. This structure frees up mental energy, allowing you to focus on other areas of your life while your financial habits operate on autopilot. Consistency also compounds your confidence. When you stick to your financial plan over time, you see results, balances grow, debt shrinks, and your sense of control over your money improves. These tangible outcomes affirm that your efforts are paying off, encouraging you to stay the course. This cycle of effort, result, and reinforcement creates a positive feedback loop that makes long-term success not only possible but inevitable. Finally, consistency fosters a sense of identity. When you consistently practice good financial habits, you begin to see yourself as someone who is disciplined, responsible, and in control of their money. This shift in self-perception is powerful. It turns positive actions into a natural part of who you are. Instead of feeling like a chore, managing your money becomes a reflection of your values and goals. At its core, consistency wins because it transforms effort into outcomes, habits into results, and dreams into reality. It's not about making huge leaps, it's about taking steady steps. When you embrace the power of consistency, you unlock the ability to achieve financial freedom, one decision, $1, and one day at a time. Consistency is the key to long-term financial success. It's not about quick fixes or one-time actions, but about steady, repeated efforts that compound over time. Whether it's budgeting, saving, investing, or paying off debt, small, consistent actions build momentum and create lasting results. Consistency helps you stay disciplined, make better financial decisions, and build resilience against setbacks. It simplifies your financial journey, reinforces positive habits, and strengthens your confidence. Over time, it transforms not only your finances but also your mindset, leading to lasting wealth and financial freedom. Simply put, consistency is the secret that turns dreams into reality, one small step at a time. Taking hold of your money begins with a shift in your mindset. The way you think about money directly impacts how you manage it. For too long, many of us have been conditioned to believe that financial success is reserved for the lucky, the privileged, or those born into wealth. This kind of thinking creates a mental barrier that keeps us stuck in cycles of frustration and poor decision-making. To change your financial future, you must first change how you see money and its role in your life. Money is not your enemy. It's a tool. It's a resource meant to serve you, not control you. Too often, people let money dictate their emotions, whether it's fear, stress, or even pride. But when you recognize that money doesn't have a personality of its own, you free yourself to make choices from a place of control rather than reaction. It's not about how much you make, it's about what you do with what you make. Your beliefs about money come from years of influence, what you saw growing up, what society tells you, and even your own experiences with failure. Maybe you felt the sting of an overdraft notice or the burden of unpaid bills piling up. These moments can make you feel like financial security is out of reach, but that's simply not true. The reality is your past does not define your financial future. No matter where you are today, you can choose a new path. Taking hold of your money means adopting a mindset of ownership, no more blaming the government, the economy, or even your employer for your financial situation. While those things may play a role, they do not determine your ultimate outcome. You are responsible for the money that flows through your hands. You decide whether it works for you or against you. That level of accountability is empowering because it means the solution is within your grasp. It's also about having a vision. Without a clear vision for your money, you'll drift. Money will come in and go out without any purpose, leaving you wondering where it all went. But when you align your actions with a bigger goal, whether it's paying off debt, saving for a home, or building a legacy for your family, you give every dollar a mission. And when your money has a mission, it works harder for you. Finally, a proper mindset involves patience and persistence. We live in a culture of instant gratification where we want results now and are tempted to take shortcuts to get there, but true financial success is rarely instant. It requires consistent effort over time, even when the results aren't immediately visible. Changing your mindset means rejecting the quick fix and embracing the steady process of building a strong financial foundation. When you see money as a tool, take ownership of your decisions, and commit to a long-term vision, you'll find that financial control isn't as far away as it seems. It starts in your mind, and from there it transforms your actions and eventually your life. Budgeting is the foundation of taking control of your money. Without a plan, your income will always feel like it's slipping through your fingers no matter how much you earn. A budget is not a restriction, it's a strategy, a roadmap for your money. When done right, it brings clarity, purpose, and peace of mind to your financial life. The first step in budgeting is understanding that every dollar you earn must have a job. This is called a zero-based budget, where your income minus your expenses equals zero. It doesn't mean you spend every penny, it means you assign every penny. Some dollars will go toward bills, others toward savings, investments, or debt repayment, and yes, some for fun. The point is, nothing is left floating around unaccounted for. When every dollar has a purpose, you gain control over your money instead of letting it control you. Budgeting is not about how much money you make, it's about what you do with it. Even people with high incomes can find themselves living paycheck to paycheck if they don't budget. On the other hand, someone with a modest income can make significant progress toward their goals simply by telling their money where to go. The key is to prioritize. Needs come first, things like housing, utilities, food, and transportation. These are your essentials, the non-negotiables. Once those are covered, you can decide how much to allocate to other areas like savings, debt, and discretionary spending. One of the most powerful aspects of budgeting is the way it reveals your spending habits. When you put everything down on paper or in a budgeting app, you see exactly where your money is going. Maybe it's those daily coffee runs, streaming subscriptions you forgot about, or impulse purchases that add up over time. Seeing it all laid out can be eye-opening, even uncomfortable, but that awareness is a gift. It's the starting point for making smarter choices. Budgeting also brings freedom. That might sound counterintuitive because we often think of budgets as limiting, but when you have a plan, you don't have to stress about whether you can afford something. You've already decided in advance what your priorities are, and you've made space for the things that matter most to you. Want to go on vacation? Put it in the budget. Love dining out? Allocate a portion of your income for that. The key is to enjoy those things guilt-free because you've planned for them. A good budget also prepares you for the unexpected. Life is full of surprises, some good, some bad. An emergency fund should be a non-negotiable part of your budget, helping you handle those surprise medical bills, car repairs, or other unexpected expenses without derailing your financial progress. Consistency is critical. A budget isn't something you set and forget, it's something you revisit regularly. Life changes, your income might fluctuate, expenses may rise or fall, and your goals will evolve. That's why it's essential to sit down every month and adjust your budget as needed. This monthly practice keeps you grounded and ensures that your plan stays aligned with your priorities. Remember, a budget is simply a tool. It doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to work for you. Whether you prefer a detailed spreadsheet or a more flexible system, what matters is that you stick with it. Over time, budgeting becomes second nature, and the clarity it brings to your financial life will transform the way you handle money. It's not just about paying bills, it's about building the life you want, one planned dollar at a time. Debt is a thief. It steals your income, your peace of mind, and your ability to build the future you want. Eliminating debt is not just a financial step, it's a life-changing journey that allows you to regain control over your money and your choices. If you're serious about taking hold of your financial life, getting rid of debt is non-negotiable. The first thing to understand about debt is that it's not neutral, it's actively working against you. Every dollar you owe is a dollar that belongs to someone else, plus interest. Think about it, you work hard every day, but part of your paycheck is already spoken for before you even see it. Whether it's a car payment, credit card bill, or student loan, debt keeps you tied to the past, paying for decisions you made weeks, months, or even years ago. Eliminating debt breaks those chains and gives you the freedom to direct your money toward your future. Getting out of debt starts with a decision, a firm, no turning back decision that you're done living in bondage to creditors. This mindset shift is crucial because paying off debt requires sacrifice, discipline, and persistence. It's not always easy, but the reward is worth it. Imagine a life where your paycheck is entirely yours to spend, save, and invest. That's the vision that will keep you motivated. Once you've committed to becoming debt-free, it's time to create a plan. The most effective way to tackle debt is to focus on one balance at a time while making minimum payments on the rest. Start by listing all your debts, from smallest to largest, regardless of interest rate. This method, often called the snowball method, creates momentum. By knocking out the smallest debt first, you get a quick win, which boosts your confidence and keeps you motivated. Once the first debt is gone, you take the amount you were paying on it and apply it to the next debt on the list. With each step, your payment power grows like a snowball rolling downhill. For some, focusing on high-interest debt first might seem more logical. That's fine, too, if it fits your personality better. The most important thing is to stick to the plan. Debt elimination isn't about math, it's about behavior. The key is staying focused and consistent no matter which strategy you choose. Eliminating debt requires sacrifices in the short term. This might mean cutting back on eating out, canceling subscriptions, or driving a used car instead of something brand new. It's not forever, but these sacrifices free up cash that can go toward your debt. The more you're willing to say no to temporary pleasures, the faster you'll achieve the permanent joy of financial freedom. It's also essential to avoid taking on new debt while you're working to pay off the old. This might mean putting the credit cards away or cutting them up entirely. Credit cards can feel like a safety net, but in reality, they're often the very thing keeping you stuck. Learning to live within your means, using cash or a debit card, forces you to confront your spending habits and make intentional choices. Unexpected expenses can derail even the best debt payoff plans, which is why having a small emergency fund around $1,000 is so important. This fund acts as a buffer, allowing you to handle life's surprises without reaching for the credit card. Once your debt is gone, you can build a larger emergency fund, but for now, this small cushion keeps you focused on your goal. Finally, remember that getting out of debt is not just about the numbers, it's about changing your mindset and habits for good. The lessons you learn in this process, delayed gratification, discipline, and intentionality, will serve you for the rest of your life. And once you're debt-free, you'll be amazed at how much faster you can build wealth, save for the future, and give generously to causes you care about. Debt elimination is not easy, but it's one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself and your family. It's a declaration that your financial future is too important to hand over to creditors. When you commit to the process and follow through, you'll experience a level of freedom and peace that no amount of stuff or status can provide. An emergency fund is one of the most powerful tools you can have in your financial arsenal. It's not just about having money set aside, it's about creating a safety net that protects you from life's inevitable surprises. Without it, even minor setbacks can spiral into financial disasters, derailing your progress and keeping you stuck in a cycle of stress and debt. The purpose of an emergency fund is simple. It's there to cover unexpected expenses. Life has a way of throwing curveballs: a sudden car repair, a medical bill, or even a job loss. These moments can be emotionally draining, but they don't have to be financially catastrophic. When you have an emergency fund, you're able to handle these situations calmly and confidently because you're prepared. Building an emergency fund starts small. If you're still in the process of paying off debt, your first goal should be to save $1,000. This amount is enough to cover most small emergencies while keeping you focused on your debt payoff plan. Think of it as your starter cushion. It's not the ultimate goal, but it's a critical first step that gives you breathing room as you work toward larger financial milestones. Once you're debt-free, it's time to grow that fund. A fully funded emergency fund should cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses. This means looking at your essential costs, things like housing, utilities, food, and transportation, and calculating how much you would need to get by if your income suddenly disappeared. For some, this might mean saving $10,000, $20,000, or more, depending on your lifestyle and financial responsibilities. It might seem like a daunting task, but breaking it down into smaller, manageable goals makes it achievable. An emergency fund isn't just about the money, it's about peace of mind. Knowing you have a financial buffer allows you to sleep better at night and make decisions from a position of strength rather than fear. Without one, even a minor emergency can lead to panic, forcing you to rely on credit cards, loans, or other debt. This can quickly snowball, turning a temporary setback into a long-term burden. With an emergency fund, you're able to face challenges with confidence, knowing you have the resources to handle them. It's important to keep your emergency fund accessible, but not too accessible. This means it should be in a savings account or money market account where it's easy to withdraw when needed, but not so easy that you're tempted to dip into it for non-emergencies. The key is to define what qualifies as an emergency, things like a medical crisis, an unexpected home repair, or a sudden loss of income. It's not for vacations, shopping sprees, or other discretionary expenses. Having clear boundaries ensures your emergency fund serves its intended purpose. Building your emergency fund requires consistency and discipline. Start by setting aside a portion of each paycheck, even if it's just a small amount. Over time, those contributions add up. You can also use windfalls like tax refunds, bonuses, or side hustle income to give your fund a boost. The goal is to make saving for emergencies a priority, not an afterthought. Some people might question the need for such a fund, thinking they can rely on credit cards or other forms of borrowing in an emergency. But debt should never be your first line of defense. Borrowing money to handle a crisis only creates a new problem. Now you're dealing with interest payments and the stress of paying off what you borrowed. An emergency fund eliminates that risk, giving you the ability to handle life's challenges without adding financial strain. The benefits of an emergency fund extend beyond the financial. It gives you options. If you lose your job, you're not forced to take the first offer that comes along. You can take the time to find a role that's right for you. If your car breaks down, you don't have to choose between fixing it and paying the rent. An emergency fund provides stability, flexibility, and freedom in ways that go far beyond dollars and cents. Ultimately, an emergency fund is about taking responsibility for your financial well-being. It's a proactive step that acknowledges life's uncertainties and prepares for them in advance. By prioritizing this safety net, you're not just protecting your bank account, you're protecting your peace of mind, your relationships, and your ability to move forward with confidence no matter what life throws your way. Intentional spending is the art of aligning your money with your priorities, values, and goals. It's about making deliberate choices with every dollar instead of letting your finances be dictated by impulses, habits, or societal pressure. When you spend intentionally, your money becomes a tool to build the life you truly want, rather than a fleeting source of gratification. One of the first steps to intentional spending is gaining clarity on what matters most to you. Ask yourself, what are my financial priorities? Maybe it's paying off debt, saving for a home, investing for the future, or creating memorable experiences with loved ones. Whatever your goals, intentional spending requires you to focus on them and let go of expenses that don't serve your bigger picture. It's not about deprivation, it's about choice. You're deciding to spend on the things that add value to your life while cutting out the things that don't. Intentional spending also involves distinguishing between needs and wants. Needs are your essentials: food, housing, transportation, and utilities. Wants are the extras: the streaming subscriptions, dining out, or that shiny new gadget. While there's nothing wrong with enjoying your money, intentionality requires you to balance your spending on wants with your long-term goals. It means asking, does this purchase bring me closer to or farther from the life I want? Impulse buying is one of the biggest barriers to intentional spending. Advertisers and retailers are experts at making us feel like we need things we don't. They tap into our emotions, creating a sense of urgency or fear of missing out. Practicing intentional spending means pausing before you buy, taking a moment to evaluate whether the purchase aligns with your priorities. Sometimes simply waiting 24 hours before making a purchase is enough to separate true needs from fleeting desires. Another critical aspect of intentional spending is tracking your expenses. Awareness is the foundation of change. When you know exactly where your money is going, you can identify areas where you're overspending or wasting resources. Maybe it's those small, everyday purchases, coffee, snacks, or rideshare services that add up over time. Or perhaps it's bigger ticket items that you don't use or value as much as you thought you would. Tracking your spending gives you the data you need to make adjustments and ensure your money is flowing toward the things that truly matter. Intentional spending isn't just about cutting back, it's also about giving yourself permission to enjoy your money in meaningful ways. If travel is important to you, create a category in your budget for vacations and save up for trips guilt-free. If you love dining out, allocate a portion of your income for restaurants and savor the experience. The key is that these expenses are planned, purposeful, and aligned with your goals. You're not mindlessly swiping a card, you're spending in a way that reflects your values. This approach also helps you avoid the trap of lifestyle inflation. As your income grows, it's tempting to upgrade everything: your car, your home, your wardrobe. But if you're not careful, these upgrades can quickly eat up your raises and leave you no better off than before. Intentional spending means resisting the pressure to keep up with others and staying focused on your own goals. It's about finding contentment with what you have while still striving for progress in the areas that matter most to you. Intentional spending requires a budget that reflects your priorities. A budget is not a restriction, it's a tool that ensures your money goes where you want it to go. When you create your budget, include line items for your needs, your goals, and your wants. By assigning every dollar a purpose, you eliminate wasteful spending and maximize the impact of your income. One of the most rewarding aspects of intentional spending is the sense of control it gives you. When you know your money is being used wisely, you feel empowered instead of stressed. You're no longer wondering where it all went because you've planned for every expense. This control extends beyond finances. It influences your overall well-being, reducing anxiety and increasing confidence in your ability to achieve your goals. Ultimately, intentional spending is about living with purpose. It's recognizing that every dollar you earn represents time and effort, and deciding to use those dollars in a way that aligns with the life you want to create. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. With each intentional choice, you move closer to financial freedom, greater peace of mind, and a life that reflects your deepest values. Building wealth slowly is about adopting a steady, disciplined approach to growing your financial resources over time. While quick fixes and get-rich-quick schemes may sound appealing, the reality is that true, lasting wealth is rarely built overnight. It requires patience, consistency, and a commitment to making wise decisions year after year. This method may not be glamorous, but it's proven, sustainable, and attainable for anyone willing to stay the course. The first principle of building wealth slowly is understanding the power of compound growth. When you invest your money, it doesn't just grow from your contributions, it grows from the earnings on those contributions. Over time, those earnings begin to generate their own earnings, creating a snowball effect. The earlier you start, the more time your money has to grow exponentially. Even small, consistent contributions can lead to significant wealth over decades. This is why it's important to start as soon as possible, even if you feel like you can only invest a little at first. Consistency is the cornerstone of slow wealth building. Whether it's contributing to a retirement account, saving for a down payment, or paying off debt to free up future cash flow, the key is to make regular progress. This means setting up automatic transfers to your savings or investment accounts, sticking to your budget, and resisting the temptation to stop or dip into your funds when things get tight. Over time, these steady efforts compound into remarkable results. Another essential element is living below your means. This doesn't mean living a life of deprivation, but it does mean being intentional about your spending and prioritizing long-term goals over short-term pleasures. When you consistently spend less than you earn, you create a surplus that can be saved and invested. This surplus is the seed of wealth, and protecting it requires discipline and a clear vision of your financial future. Diversifying your investments is another critical factor in building wealth slowly. Placing all your money into one stock, property, or venture may seem like a shortcut to big returns, but it also exposes you to significant risk. By spreading your investments across different asset classes such as stocks, bonds, real estate, and mutual funds, you reduce the impact of market fluctuations and create a more stable path to wealth. A well-diversified portfolio ensures that even if one area experiences losses, the others can help balance it out. Patience is non-negotiable. In a world where instant gratification is the norm, waiting for your investments to grow or your savings to accumulate can feel frustrating, but wealth building is not a sprint, it's a marathon. The ups and downs of the market are normal, and staying the course during downturns is critical. Selling out of fear or trying to time the market often leads to losses and missed opportunities. Trust the process, stick to your plan, and let time work in your favor. Slow wealth building also requires a focus on education and self-improvement. The more you understand about personal finance, investing, and money management, the better equipped you are to make informed decisions. Take the time to read books, attend seminars, or consult with financial advisors who can help guide you. Knowledge is one of the greatest assets you can invest in, and it pays dividends throughout your life. It's important to celebrate milestones along the way. Building wealth slowly doesn't mean delaying all gratification until you're financially independent. It means finding balance, allowing yourself to enjoy some of the fruits of your labor while staying committed to your bigger goals. Rewarding yourself for reaching a savings target or hitting a debt-free milestone keeps you motivated and reinforces positive habits. Generosity is another often overlooked component of slow wealth building. When you give to others, whether through charitable donations, helping family members, or supporting community projects, you're reminded that wealth is about more than just accumulation. It's a tool for creating a positive impact in the world. Generosity also cultivates gratitude, which is a powerful motivator to keep striving for financial success. Finally, building wealth slowly requires a long-term mindset. This means focusing on where you want to be 10, 20, or even 30 years from now, rather than getting distracted by short-term gains or setbacks. It's about understanding that the habits you build today, saving, investing, living within your means, are planting seeds that will grow into a forest of opportunities in the future. By staying disciplined and committed, you'll create a legacy of financial security and freedom for yourself and your loved ones. True wealth isn't about flashy cars, big houses, or extravagant lifestyles. It's about stability, freedom, and the ability to live life on your terms. When you build wealth slowly, you're not just accumulating money, you're creating a foundation for lasting success, peace of mind, and the ability to leave a meaningful legacy. Generosity and responsibility are two sides of the same coin when it comes to managing wealth and living a meaningful life. Together, they form a powerful combination that not only transforms your financial journey, but also enriches your relationships, your community, and your sense of purpose. By balancing these principles, you learn to use your money in a way that brings fulfillment while ensuring you remain grounded in your obligations.